You and Jungkook entered in the staff room together, early as always. Only a few professors make it up before you do. You saw Professor Neil standing near the coffee machine and waiting for his coffee to get ready. Good morning, Professor Neil. How are you? He smiled softly. Good morning to both of you. I'm good. You are looking great today, sir. Seems like there's something special. Wait, is it your wedding anniversary today? Mr. Neil chuckled. It's next month, Jungkook, but your mood is always good. You got to see your wife all the time. Your cheeks turned red while Jungkook chuckled. You settled in your seat and opened your laptop to see a schedule for today's classes. So, today's plan is all set? Jungkook sat sitting on his seat while you let out a tiring sigh. Yes, have 2 extra lectures. It's going to be a long day. He chuckled. Just then Professor Kim strolled over, carrying a stack of books. She flashed a mischievous grin. Morning, lovebirds. Planning your day together, I see. You laughed, rolling your eyes slightly because you know Professor Kim never let a chance go out of her hands when it comes to teasing both of you. Good morning, Professor Kim. We are just doing the usual prep. Jungkook smirked. He likes playing along with Professor Kim. Yeah, making sure we don't accidentally mix our subjects. Imagine me teaching romantic poetry and Ryan explaining steam engines. You chuckled as Jungkook winked at you. Mr. Lee joined the conversation. Now that would be a class to remember. How's married life treating you two? Busy but good. Balancing work and home isn't always easy, but we manage. Professor Choi, seated nearby, leaned over with a smirk. Do you two ever get competitive about your classes, like who gets better student evaluations? You chuckle. Before every class or lectures, these conversations in the staff room is permanent. Every professor likes to tease each other, and especially now when they came to know that you and Jungkook are married. Not really, we are just happy if the students are engaged and learning. Professor Kim wagged her fingers playfully. Oh come on, there's got to be some friendly competition. Who makes better coffee at home? Jungkook raised his hand. That would be me. Ryan's coffee is an acquired taste. You nudged him, laughing. Hey, at least I don't burn the toast. Professor Lee laughed. See, this is what makes you two so interesting. It's like a sitcom waiting to open. The conversation continued with light-hearted teasing and laughter. Professor Park, a quieter colleague from the biology department, approached with a curious smile. So, do your students know yet? You shook your head with a smile. Not yet, I guess. Professor Neil chuckled, leaning back in his chair. Oh, just imagine the chaos when they find out. Professor Choi added, I can already see the headlines. Campus power couple revealed. You laugh, feeling the heat rise in your cheeks. Let's hope it's not too chaotic. Jungkook smiled while closing his laptop and got up. Either way, it will be memorable. Now I gotta go. You smiled and nodded. Oh, are we supposed to turn our heads in another direction? Maybe husband wants a goodbye kiss from wife. All the professors laughed while your face turned red with embarrassment. Ma'am, please. Don't be shy, Ryan. We are just teasing. You guys are really cute together. It's a blessing to see a married professors in the same department. So, when are you two planning to host a seminar on how to balance marriage and academia? I'm sure it would be a full house. Jungkook grinned, glancing at you. Maybe we should. We could call it Love in the Time of Tenure. You smirked, playfully nudging him. Or how not to grade papers while arguing about dinner. Kim laughed heartedly. I'd sign up for that, but seriously, you two should consider a joint class. History and literature do go hand in hand. We'll talk about that later. For now, I think we all should get back to our jobs. You said getting up from the chair. It's good to refresh moods before getting into work, and here everyone feels like a family. All the students got back to their seats when Jungkook walked inside the class. He's one of those professors who is cool, yet students never dare to disrespect him. Enough fun, let's get back to some studies, shall we? He said, coming to his table. Good morning, Professor John. And so the advancements in technology during this period were unprecedented. Jungkook explained, gesturing towards a detailed diagram of a steam engine. In fact, just last night my wife and I was discussing how these changes laid the groundwork for so much of today's infrastructure. He paused mid-sentence, realizing what he had just revealed. The room fell silent for a moment as the students preceded his words. Professor John, did you just say your wife? She said, raising her hand. Professor John is married? She said as her mouth wide open in shock, while other students exchanged shocking glances at each other. And we thought you were single. Jungkook knew that there's no use of hiding the marriage anymore. Professor, can we see who is that lucky girl? We want to see your wife. They all started insisting. Yes, you must have her picture on your phone wallpaper. Jungkook chuckled. Well, you all know her already. Here comes another shock for the students. What? We already know? Is she one of our professors? Mia's eyes widened as she stood up all of a sudden. Wait, is she our English professor, Miss Ryan? Everyone looked at her and then at Jungkook. What, really? Jungkook nodded. Yes, your English professor. He was blushing terribly at this moment but trying to mask it, keeping a normal expression. Wow, that's so cool. You know, I always have this doubt because Professor John is always lovey-dovey around Professor Ryan. I thought it's because he likes her, but turn out you guys are already married. Jungkook chuckled. Jungkook raised his hand in an attempt to regain control. Alright, let's bring it back to the Industrial Revolution, everyone. He tried to change the topic but the questions kept coming. How long have you been married? Do you guys have academic debates at home? He asked while the other students laughed. Jungkook couldn't help but chuckle. We have been married for a few years, and yes, sometimes we do discuss our respective fields at home, but for now let's focus on the history at hand, okay? Suddenly the door opened and you came inside. The class fell silent and you got a little awkward. You looked at Jungkook. I'm sorry for the disturbance, sir. Please sign here for the department meeting later. Jungkook cleared his throat, taking the papers from you. Thanks, Ryan. I'll take care of it. You smiled, but there was something strange with the students. They were exchanging glances at each other. Good morning, Professor Ryan, or should we say Mrs. John? Your eyes widened as you looked at them. Jungkook was shocked. Excuse me? Nancy leaned forward eagerly. Professor John told us you are his wife. You looked at Jungkook, your eyes wide in shock. You told them? It just slipped out of my mouth. You sighed and forced a smile before looking at the students. Well, now you know, so yes. Jack raised his hand, a cheeky grin on his face. Professor, do you guys ever have disagreements about history versus literature? You exchanged a quick, amused glance with Jungkook, still trying to process the situation. Not as often as you think. We usually argue about who left the coffee pot on. They all burst into laughter. You looked at Jungkook, who mouthed sorry because he revealed your relationship without discussing. Mia stood up grinning. Professor Ryan, is it true that Professor John does all the cooking? You chuckled, shaking your head. We share the cooking duties, but yes, he's pretty good in the kitchen. Oh, that's so cute. You guys set the standards even higher. Other girls agreed with her. Do you guys have any secret nicknames for each other? Jungkook blushed and you laughed. We do, but I think we'll keep those to ourselves for now. Sophia leaned forward, curiosity burning in her eyes. Professor John said we already knew you. Did you guys keep it a secret on purpose? You nodded, smiling. Yes, we wanted to keep our personal life private, but I guess the cat's out of bag now. Mia grinned even wider. You are like the ultimate power couple of the university. The students erupted in playful cheers and applause, clearly delighted by the revelation. Professor Ryan, do you ever help Professor John with the history lectures? You shook your head laughing. Not really, he does just fine on his own. Jack leaned back in his chair, still grinning. This is the best news we have heard all semester. Jungkook raised his hands, trying to get the class back on track. Alright, I'm glad you're excited, but we really need to get back to the Industrial Revolution. You turned to leave, waving to the students. Enjoy your class, everyone, and remember homework is due tomorrow. Once the door closed behind you, Jungkook turned back to his class, still smiling. Alright, let's get back to the Industrial Revolution, shall we? Now we don't want to know about Industrial Revolution. Your story is more important and interesting. Jungkook looked at them. You guys already caused me trouble, now let's study. Oh, does that mean Professor Wang is going to take your class after school? They teased him, but this time Jungkook made a serious face, shutting their mouth completely. Enough fun, now open your books. But then the bell rang. Everyone cheered while Jungkook sighed. You were back in your classroom, setting up for your next lecture. You couldn't stop thinking about the students' reaction and how this new information would spread like wildfire through the campus. Just as you were organizing your notes, your phone burst with a text from Jungkook. The students took it better than I expected. Brace yourself for more teasing though. You smiled at the message, knowing he was right. This was just the beginning. He's seriously more than the students. During lunch, you and Jungkook met up in the staff room. As soon as you walked in, you were met with playful smirks from your colleagues. Professor Kim raised an eyebrow, grinning. Heard you two are the talk of the town now. Professor Lee chuckled. Can't wait to see how long it takes for the entire university to find out. You said, looking at Jungkook. I seriously have no idea what I was thinking that time before it slipped out of my mouth. Professor Kim came near. She looks at him teasingly. Oh really, Jungkook? You just couldn't keep it, could you? You chuckled nervously, nudging him playfully. Well, now that it's out, we might as well embrace it. There's nothing wrong though. I bet now they are more excited. You laugh, shaking your head. Lots of questions and excitements. They think it's pretty cool. Professor Lee nodded approvingly. Just wait until they start asking for relationship advice. He groaned playfully. Oh great, as if teaching wasn't challenging enough. The laughter and light-hearted teasing from your colleagues made you feel at ease. Despite the unexpected revelation, the support from your peers reassured you that everything would be just fine. You finished your skincare and got up from the chair before turning back only to see your husband in the bed already. He patted the place beside him. Come here, love. You narrowed your eyes before walking towards his side. Don't forget we have to talk about what you did today. He chuckled. I didn't forget, love, but can't we talk about it tomorrow? Right now, I just want to enjoy some quiet time with you. You arched an eyebrow as you settled onto the bed beside him. Oh, so you think you can just distract me with your charm, huh? Jungkook grinned, pulling you into his arms. Is it working? He couldn't help but to laugh, the tension from earlier melting away in his embrace. Maybe a little. He pressed a kiss to your forehead, his lips lingering against your skin. Good, because all I want right now is to hold you close and forget about everything else. You nestled into his embrace, feeling the warmth of his body against yours. In that moment, with Jungkook's arms around you and his heartbeat steady against your chest, you felt a sense of peace wash over you. I don't know what I was thinking when I blurted it out, but isn't it good that the truth is out now? We don't have to hide anymore. You nodded, a smile tugging at the corner of your lips. Yeah, it is, and seeing how happy the students were about, it's kind of nice. Jungkook tightened his embrace, pressing a kiss to the top of your head. I'm glad you think so, because I couldn't be happier that everyone knows you're mine. You giggled. You sounds like a high schooler. He looked at you. I'm still young. You laughed.